Hello boys and girls, you are welcome to ICT class. Today our topic is computer keyboard. Computer keyboard. So let's look at our learning objective for today. Alright, we have 4 learning objectives for today. The first one is to define computer keyboard. The second one is to mention types of keyboard. Then the third one is to state types of keyboard keys. Then the fourth one is to learn how to position our fingers on the keyboard. So let's start, friends. Now, before we dive into today's topic, I like to know or to tell you that there are some devices or instruments that has keys, like a musical instrument that we also call keyboard, and a typewriter also have keys like a keyboard, so they look like a keyboard because they have keys. But the keyboard we are talking about today is computer keyboard. And what do we mean by computer keyboard? Let's define computer keyboard. We can say computer keyboard is a device we use to send data into the computer by typing. So it means when we are pressing and depressing the keys on the keyboard, we are sending in data into the computer, and that is what we see on our computer monitor that shows either as a text, a letter, or a number. So what we are trying to say here is that we use a computer keyboard to send data into the computer by typing. So the device we use as part of the computer system to type is called computer keyboard. All right, let's look at the picture of a computer keyboard so that we don't mistake it for a keyboard which is for musical instruments. So this is a computer keyboard. If you look at this keyboard, you will see some keys at the beginning beside the tab, which is called QWERTY. So that's the type of keyboard that is common today that we use. So this is designed based on the keys that are on the typewriter. So that's the common keyboard that you can see anywhere in the world today. All right, now let's look at these keys on the keyboard. There are many keys, about 104 or 102 keys on the keyboard. So they have their own particular function and their name is written on them for us to know the keys we are pressing. So I will mention some that we can see on the screen, like escape, function, enter, backspace, delete, print screen, scroll, caps lock, shift, control, alternate key, Windows key, spacebar, hotkey, Windows menu. They have their own particular function, and we also have arrow keys on the keyboard. So now the next thing I would like us to look at are the types of keyboard. So we have two major types of keyboard. The one with wire that we call wire keyboard, and the one without wire that we call wireless keyboard. So whenever you see a keyboard that has a wire, it is called a wire keyboard because there is a wire that is attached to it. So the one without wire that we call wireless keyboard is the second type of keyboard. All right, now let's look at the picture of the keyboard. Now this is the picture of computer keyboard. As you can see, the first one has wire and we call it wire keyboard, while the second one has no wire and we call it wireless keyboard. So these are the major types of keyboard that we have. All right, now the next thing I would like us to look at is, we look at the keys on the keyboard and I call the names for you. So now the keys on the keyboard are divided into 5 major types, and that is what we are going to look at. Because if you look at the computer keyboard, I believe you know that You can press number, you can press letter A to Z there. So what do we call these names of keys on the keyboard? So let's start from the first one, which we call alphabetic keys. That is letter A to Z. So alphabetic keys are the keys ranging from letter A to Z. So if you want to type any word, any letter, or any sentence, or even paragraph, you need to use the combinations of this letter A to Z. So just like our normal vowel and consonant letters that we have. So now the next one, which is the second one, is numeric keys, which is 0 to 9. The 0 to 9 can be used on computer keyboard to form any numbers, even to billions. So that is why on a computer keyboard, the number keys are from 0 to 9, and you can use it to form any key. Now, at the uppermost part of the keyboard, we have what we call function keys, which is from F1 to F12. So we use it to perform a special function. That's why we call it function keys. So that's the first set of keys that you will see on the computer keyboard. Then we also have the next one, which we call special character keys. Special character keys. So let's look at the examples. We have the backspace, we have the delete key, we have caps lock, and so on and so forth. So what we use special character keys for is that we use it to perform a special function. Like backspace, we can use it to erase text backward. Then if we highlight the text, or maybe we put our cursor at the beginning, we can use delete to delete it. And if we need to type in capital letter, we use caps lock for it. As you can see, they perform special function. Now there's another one we call special purpose keys. Special purpose keys, which is, we have examples like control, alternate, escape, enter, and shift. Now the reason why we call it special purpose keys is that we don't always use these keys always, but we use it when we need to perform a special function. So that's why we call it special purpose keys. We use it in combinations with other keys. We combine it with other keys for them to function. Like a control key, we can use it together with another key on the keyboard. Like if you want to save, you can use Ctrl S to save. So you see, we combine it with another key to give us a shortcut key. So, and enter is what we use to go to another line, while we use shift with any letter to make it a capital letter. So that's why we call it special purpose keys. All right, now for us to type with the keyboard, we need to understand how a keyboard is formed. And you remember I said the keyboard that we use today is what we call QWERTY keyboard. Why do we call it? Is because that keyboard is designed from the old typewriter. So if you look at the keys on the typewriter and the keys on the computer keyboard, they look alike. So the first set of letters on the keyboard by the left hand side is this letter Q, W, E, R, T, Y. So that is the common keyboard that we have, that is available to us. Though there are some other types of keyboard keys on the computer keyboard, but this is the common one, and this one is very easy for us to understand, because even we are using, maybe learning how to type using a typing tutor like Mavis Bacon, this is the type of the keyboard that you will see there. All right, now when typing with a keyboard, whenever you want to type with a keyboard, you spread your fingers. So, but you need to position it in a certain way so that you can move freely on the keyboard, and also you will be able to type fast. So that is why they design the keys like that. So the left fingers, you place it on ASDF, while your right fingers, you place it on JKL and semicolon. So if you have computer keyboard at home, place your fingers on it, and I will show you a picture that shows how to position our fingers on the computer keyboard. Remember, let me show you a keyboard. Alright, now look at this keyboard. You see, if you look at the first set of letters, there is QWERTY, and I believe you can see ASDF and JKL and semicolon. So that's the way you position your fingers. So let's go back. Now, for us to position our fingers, we place the left hand on the fingers on the left hand on ASDF, while the second one, which is the right finger, on JKL and semicolon. Then our thumb, the two thumbs, will be on the space bar, because that's the longest key on the keyboard. We use it to create a gap in between text. So, and that is why they make it long, so that we can put our thumb there. So you can use any of the thumb to create gap in between your text. Now, if you look at this keyboard, it is divided with a red margin for you to know all the keys that are for left hand and all the keys that are for right hand. So if you can learn how to position your fingers like this, you'll be able to move freely and know the letters that are for your left fingers or hand and the one that are for right hand, so that you can type faster than those that don't know how to position their fingers like this. So that is why, remember, the first thing to remember before you position your fingers on a keyboard is that the type of keyboard you are using is QWERTY, while under the QWERTY you have ASDF. So you position your fingers on ASDF, while the right hand will be on JKL and semicolon. And always remember, your thumb will be on the space bar, so that you can now move freely. Like, let's practice something here. If you have keyboard, place your fingers on ASDF first and move it, the four fingers, move it to QWER. You see, it's the same thing. And if you move it downward too, you are typing and you'll be able to type faster. So that is what we are here to learn today. I believe you enjoyed the class, and I believe after today you already know how to position your fingers. And if you have keyboard at home, you can use it to learn how to position your fingers and type. If you learn it over maybe some period of time, you will be able to type faster than before. So thank you, friends, for listening. I believe you enjoyed the class.